What's going on, gamers? So we got an interesting video here to talk about, and this is just going to be a background here, but the most important thing here is ever since the launch of PSSR 2 and the route that Sony's been going, I think that the Xbox Series X has become irrelevant. And what do I mean by that? Well, a perfect example is the price point value difference. Like, yeah, what do you mean? Well, it's $650. 100 more dollars, you're saying that I can get PSSR 2, a 2 terabyte, a more powerful GPU, and all Xbox games at way better settings now with PSSR 2, because that's the thing we're going to be talking about, right? And PlayStation exclusives day one, and most stuff the PC pretty much has, right? It's like, and I'm going to be having a strong community and a better operating system. Uh, Mr. Harty, this is funny, AK60 is absolutely hilarious because that's maybe PS6 for performance on older games. Says, well, looks like the best place to play Fable and Starfield will be on PS5 Pro or PSSR 2. Now, you guys have seen it. I've put it up as well. All of the comparisons for Resident Evil Requiem have been insane. You know, just seeing the jump from console to console, not PC, because you have to spend a fortune to get a PC to put a 5090 in or even a 5080. We're talking about you're getting into the $3,000 range with today's market, with how ridiculous stuff is. And NVIDIA has limited the stock of the 50 series, so you're pretty much stuck without that, right? Unless you can find one that's going to cost you way too much money, right? And you look at the PS5 Pro for 750 and at holiday for 650, you were starting to realize, man, that was a steal. Compared to what's going on in the market today, yeah, it's pretty insane. So like when you think about any game coming out now on Xbox, Sony was even getting games to run at 60 frames per second that weren't even 60 on Xbox Day One, like Starfield and other games, right? When you think about a game like Fable, do you really think that game's going to run at 60 frames? I'm not so sure. Maybe. But with PSSR on the Pro, 100% going to run at 60 frames per second, right? And then when you think about like going to the store and seeing the Series X, and it's like, what's the point now when I know every game is going to run way better with PSSR 2 that you're going to be dropping, right? And your Game Pass is too expensive. You had a really good value with that. That could have been a nice thing. Well, at least we still have this. In a way you do, but I can get that on PC. You know what I mean? If I cared about it. And if somebody only buys a few games a year, they don't care because they're not gonna do that. When I look at the Xbox now, it's like, no, Microsoft put themselves in a terrible position. They're going to have to be a strong third-party publisher. That is their only hope. And to have a good service subscription model. But how they're going to make up for that if it's going to be $30 per month? They're going to have to find out something. I think they'll start adding in stuff. But the problem with that is you're going to be adding in stuff that nobody cares about because they're still thinking about the games that they want to get to. Not all this Fortnite currency and all this other stuff. Like, man, that stuff's not going to really work. So that's what this topic is about, is how irrelevant the Xbox has become this year. Not because of Sony only, but because of the decisions that Microsoft made. I think instead of them jumping too far into getting the magnets out next year, they should have had a mid-gen refresh, like the PS5 Pro, like they did with the Xbox One X. I think it was a mistake. I think there's something that Bill made a mistake on if he denied it, because he says he doesn't want $1,000 console. Maybe he saw something in the future with that, but it doesn't matter at this point, does it? Because you're going to be selling the magnets for like 15 or 1600. That's a separate video. So, and the Pro is already like 750. Yeah, you probably would have had to charge 850 or 900 for it right now, because 900 probably because you have your, and you guys know what I'm talking about, the 2 terabyte Galaxy being more expensive than the PS5 Pro. And now you see how much more better the PSSR 2 has made the PlayStation 5 Pro with the latest Resident Evil Requiem comparisons. When you're looking at that 2 terabyte Galaxy, you're like, Microsoft, what's wrong with you? The PS5 Pro has a 2 terabyte inside of it. You see what I'm saying? The PS5 Pro has a 2 terabyte inside of it. And it's a more powerful system. And it has PSSR 2 now. And it has all of your games. And it has exclusives that you're never going to get. You see what I mean? You got Helldivers, which was nice. Nothing wrong with that. You're going to be getting Marathon, I pretty much believe. Because that's a game that belongs in there, right? Why not do that? But it's like, that's the next game that's coming out, right? And a lot of people are actually liking it for some reason. It's improved. I think it's going to do solid, but it's definitely not going to be no Concord. No. And Bungie just announced a roadmap from it if you didn't see it. And they're already going to be saying it's going to be a bunch of free content coming out in the next few months and for the rest of the year or whatever. And that's going to get PSSR 2 upgrades. Now, watch the difference between that. Though I think that game's going to look good, and you're still going to get your 60 because it's Bungie. That's what they do, right? But there's still going to be a difference here with PSSR 2. Watch Sony get something like 60 frames with ray tracing, 120 frames with, you know, other things going, just like you've seen with Rec Room. More comparisons about to be coming soon, y'all. Watch Crimson Desert difference. Watch Starfield difference, right? Now, since they have that, watch the Fable difference. Watch the Gears of War difference. Watch the Forza get something crazy with 4K 60 with ray tracing on with PSSR 2. If not, then you're going to say something shady is going on. But this is what I mean. Every Xbox game coming and Xbox games that are going to be getting or that have PSSR, watch the difference here. So then you're going to be looking like, wait, why are you charging that much for the Galaxy? The Series X should be cheaper because you're a $1 trillion company. The 2 terabyte should be $700, not 800 or 850 or whatever. The Series X should be like $500. So put that back to that. You see what I mean? The Series S should be $249. And you should be trying to get people onto your subscriptions. You should be trying to fill up your base. You still have GTA coming around the corner with a ton of games. I don't get why they're still like doing that, because it's like, that's not going to help you. How are you going to build anything? You can't sell anything if you're not building anything. And if the hardware is pretty much done, which it's kind of late now, then the best thing you can do now is to make your subscription model more attractive, maybe lower it down to $24.99. So do you ever see subscriptions go down historically? No, they don't. And you just have to be a strong third-party publisher and make sure that PSSR 2 patch is looking pretty good. You got that 60 frames per second. And if you can't do it with ray tracing, get close to it. But this is the point, is what I'm saying now. What is the point of the Xbox now? I was just looking at something in this relation and going over to PlayStation France, was like, look at Sony's year this year, guys. A nice state of play coming out of the holidays with a pro consumer $650 deal. The only mistake they made is with Bluepoint. Other than that, Microsoft overshadowed that real quick, right? They just can't let Sony mess up like that. Marathon is coming out in a few days. Prior to that, you had Neo. You got Resident Evil 9 Requiem PS5 Pro performance, right? You got games, third-party games launching, going to do very good. You got Ghost of Yotei Legends coming out as a free update. Marathon's getting free updates. Sony's doing the right things for the consumer. Like I said, you had a good showcase. MLB The Show is coming out. You got 3 games published by Sony getting content this month and dropping, after having a Neo 3 exclusive and a good state of play and PSSR 2 dropping. You got Sorrows following the next month. You got Marvel Tokon coming. You got Marvel Wolverine coming. You got GTA marketing rights going to be the place in the world for GTA to play and get 60 frames per second, potentially with the PSSR 2. When you think about the steps that Sony is making, they've made a massive turnaround compared to the situation they were in with all those canceled games last year and PSSR having issues. Look how quick they turned it around. You see what I mean? This is what I mean by, like, that's the difference here. There's choices. There's leadership that are making better decisions. And you got the Kina coming as well. And they have other times exclusives coming. You got Phantom Blade Zero coming that's not coming also. You know what I mean? To Xbox, it's like they have a ton of games. Like, they're not just letting Nintendo run free. Sony's coming to compete with Nintendo in a lot of ways too. And you like to see that. But when you think about Xbox, it's like, it's disappointing. And I feel like seeing what PSSR 2 did, and it has to be talked about. There has to be a video about Magnus too. Sony just keeps finding ways to consistently finish off and corner Xbox to where it's like, what are you going to really do now? And you need me. It's something serious to think about, because it's like, there's no coming back from it. There's only, now I got to be a strong third-party publisher, and my service has to be attractive. If nobody wants to get on Game Pass and my subs are not going up, then what do I have to do? I need PlayStation. I need Switch 2, and I need Steam. Because Magnus is not going to sell anything. It's already less irrelevant more than ever. Because the option here is, I want to play Xbox published games on max settings. I can already do that on my PC. And I can play it on better settings now with the Pro with PSSR 2. And I can get some games on Switch on the go. And eventually, when you get to, if they make a Switch 2 Pro or a Switch 3, these diminishing returns are going away, but you're investing into a community that you know is not going to die off, and it's always going to have strong hardware. And that's what I mean by, like, when it comes to Xbox hardware, now more than ever, what is the point of the Series X being that price? The PlayStation's just crushing it and giving you way better value. When I look at the Series X, I was like, why would I pay $650 for that when I can spend $100 more and get the PS5 Pro? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not going to get their games, but they can get all my games, play them way better now, and have exclusives, and now they're only on PlayStation. They're going back to that now. So it's like, this is where the competition is going to get even more interesting, because now Steam is going to have to step it up a bit more if they're not going to be getting that, but they'll still be fine. And Nintendo's already playing that game, right? You know what I mean? I think Sony will still share, but it will be with select titles like Kena and smaller titles that won't affect PlayStation leaving PlayStation. You still want the games that are like, no, this is here, and this is going to move a lot of consoles, like Marvel, Wolverine, you know what I mean? Marvel, Tokan, which I think is going to go to PC. It's just smart because that's a fighting game. You want that to happen. But when you think about like PS5 only games, like Marvel Wolverine, that's huge. It's a single player. That type of game makes sense. Marathon makes sense. But I swear I thought this was going to come to Xbox. Maybe they dropped it. But this is what I mean. It's like, you got Helldivers, and that was a treat. But after that, people jumped the gun. And now more than ever, Sony's pulling back even more. And they're trying to empower their first-party identity. And they're basically saying, you need me, and I'm going to get a cut. And I'm going to get your games. You have to think about it. This is the position that Xbox is in now because of the route and choices that Microsoft made. And it's not just Sony stumping them, but it's them also destroying themselves. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about that. I'm just saying, like, when we look at this now, it's kind of hard, and it is weird seeing Xbox be this much out of the picture now compared to where they were at before. It just seems like it's all roads to PlayStation when it comes to like the mainstream appeal outside of Nintendo's exclusives. If you're not going to be in a PC world, which is even more insane, which they have absolutely destroyed thanks to their greed and their monopoly with RAM and, you know, GPU prices, SSD prices, and who knows how much more crazy it's going to get before it finally tanks down, which I think is going to have to happen, and people are going to have to wake up from that. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment down below as usual. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry if I haven't gotten to all you guys' comments. It's been overload lately, and I've been doing a lot of other stuff, trying to live life as well too, because I was getting you guys 3 videos a day for that. But then I had some really huge breakthroughs, so I was able to get 2 out that are actually doing very well. I appreciate all the support, and I look forward to the PSSR 2 breakthrough this month with all the stuff coming with it and the updates. It's going to be fun. And I can't wait to see console gaming close the gap more on PC so that everybody could be playing on good settings and not feel left out. Peace out, y'all. Keep gaming no matter what platform you're on.